Namaste and welcome. This is Chantel from She Achieves Studio. Seems really early today for some reason. I'm not really sure. Energy, it's a waxing gibbous. So waxing gibbous is, I always think of wax on and wax off from Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi, his wise words to the young Padawan. And when we think of waxing on and the waxing gibbous moon, it is growing. It is being nourished by its regular cycle, by its phase. Pardon me. And it is also coming into its fullness. It's not quite ripe yet, but yet it is still growing and becoming abundant. And that really affects, like the phases of the moon, really affects not only us as humans, but our planet, as we know that because it's been scientifically proven time and time again. I look at it and I'm curious about how the moon phases affect our emotional state, our physical state, our energy state, our mental state, even our intuitive and spiritual states as well. So that is possibly why this morning I'm feeling very morning-ish and even may sound it. And how do we embrace that? You know, it's always a surprise of how I'm going to feel when I wake up in the morning. And I'm wondering if that's the case for you. You know, wondering, am I going to feel rested? Am I going to feel sort of tired? Am I going to feel off balanced a little bit? And how we can acknowledge that, exactly how we feel in that moment, and then how can we work with that? So we can either be nourished or nurtured. And being nourished, for me, and how I speak to lovelies about it, is just like the moon, being nourished. Oh, Ryan. Good morning, Ryan. Hello, lovely. I hope to see you soon at the Y. Hope to do maybe a step class one day soon. How are you, lovely? How are you this morning? Are you feeling, can I ask you a question? Are you feeling steady this morning? Are you feeling, good morning, are you feeling well rested? Or are you feeling perhaps the other side of that, feeling a little bit, I don't know, maybe unsteady, a little bit tired? It's always interesting to find out how people feel early in the morning, because doesn't that really set our genre for the rest of the day? Okay, even though energy does and can change, what happens in the morning, that's why I feel morning is so sacred, because it sort of grounds us. It brings us into whatever grounding we're going to be building upon for the rest of the day. So going back to the difference between nourishment and nurturing. If we think about nourishment, isn't that what the moon is doing right now? It's nourishing itself. It's becoming fuller with the light, and it's getting, again, abundance. It's growing abundance. Okay, so to me, that's what nourishment is. And then I feel that when lovelies come into the studio, or whether it's Iron Yoga Outdoors, the Kettlebell Yoga Outdoors that I hold Tuesday nights at the Doug Barnes Cabin, whether it's a Warrior Goddess Circle, whether it's in studio Thai Yoga Massage, BYOB, you know, whatever it is, some women I find either come in seeking nourishment or nurturing. Okay, so nurturing to me is different than nourishment, because when we nurture something, I always think of like a crying baby or a little kitten, you know, something very small, and we sort of, we don't take away, but we console it, we soften it. We sort of help remove some energy. We hold space and give love and care so that other being can feel like it's being nurtured, just as a mother would nurture a child. Okay. Yes, you're giving love, which is nourishment. However, nourishment means, again, to me, sacred speaking is, and in sacred tongue is, you're kind of coming in empty or less than full. So you're seeking nourishment. It's like, think of being hungry. You're hungry. You are in need of nourishment. And we can have that feeling, being hungry and seeking nourishment, on all 5 koshas. So again, we have the physical layer, emotional layer, energetic layer, mental layer, intuitive layer, spiritual layer. Okay. So all of those layers may be in need of nourishment, or maybe just one of those layers may be in need of nourishment. And as much as we are a collective, and I was reminded of this yesterday, as much as we are a collective, we are still having our individual experience. And that's why I think it's so important for us to own where we are. And how do we own where we are? Well, we become willing. Number one, we're willing to look at ourselves through love and curiosity and ask, am I seeking nourishment this morning or nurturing? What is it? And then when we're aware, we can do something about it. Our choice points expand. Okay? But if we're not willing to be aware, then it's almost like there's a fog in front of us. Okay, or there can be, not all the time, but sometimes. That's what I found in my experience with energy work. Okay, so ask yourself, this is an invitation, can you ask yourself if this morning, right now, are you seeking nourishment or nurturing? Good morning, Trista. Beautiful. Good morning, lovely. Thank you for joining. And this is a weekend card pull. I changed it from Sunday nights because I'm tired. I try to get to bed early. So I wanted to just offer, an opportunity of the morning. Okay, well, the card that came up today, I didn't even ask the question. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're going too fast, universe. So I suppose this card is going to relate to that space of either checking in, being willing to check in, okay, so inner dialogue, and it also, just wait, let me feel into it. Nurturing and nourishment, okay? So I'm not really sure how it's going to go, so we'll find out. So this is interesting, Cosmic Egg. That's our card. So today is Sunday. We're ending the week. We're ending another phase. We're going into the next phase of next week. So the weekend card pull is a space where we can learn from the past week and where we can perhaps set a new intent for the next week. And what this does is it offers an opportunity for us to bring this past week to a close. Okay, because then what happens if we don't offer an opportunity, if you're willing to step into, what's the word? To close, to rest this past week, then what happens is we just become entangled. And then the past week drips into the next week. And we don't give ourselves room. Deborah, beautiful. Good morning. Namaste, lovely. So nice to see you. And there is another gal there I missed. Good morning. Good morning, lovelies. Thank you for joining me. So that is why I sort of felt the intent of creating weekend card pull. And it happens every Sunday. It was evening. Now it's morning. And that may flip and flop a little bit. Because what happens is I think we become attached to the past week. We become attached to the feelings, the shadows, the light of the past week. And there's no separation. It just floats. And as I mentioned before, it just drips into the next week. So how can we create space today, this morning, with the cards to help guide us. Our guardians, our teachers, the plants, the stones, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the ancestors, the elders, the earth and the sky. How can they all guide us? And how can we be humble enough and soften the ego to be able to feel into and embody the teachings? Well, that's what Weekend Card Pull is, okay? And just a little side note, if you're interested, because I think my coffee's kicking in. My coffee's kicking in right now. There's something called in yogic philosophy, the kleshas. Anyone heard of the kleshas? The kleshas. If you haven't, if you want, on She Achieves Studio YouTube channel, if you scroll down, there's quite a few videos. It's probably one of the longest videos that I've had. It was like kind of a workshop, and it's about a 90-minute workshop on the kleshas. Okay, and I think it's really cool. I love the kleshas, and the kleshas are our 5 obstacles of suffering in yogic philosophy and Ayurveda. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it's not only related to yogic philosophy, but it comes from the sutras, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and the Bhagavad Gita, I think, is in there too. So the 5 kleshas are, actually, can anyone name the 5 kleshas without looking on your phone? Anyone? I don't know. So the 5 kleshas are, for us humans, the 5 obstacles in our life that will cause us pain and suffering. Okay? And sometimes, through our ancestral lineage, through our teachers, our parents, our friends, society, media, all of that external influence, it grows upon it teaches us to perhaps turn away, to run away, to not acknowledge, and to be scared of these 5 kleshas. And that's the cool part about yogic philosophy. That's why I love yoga so much. Yes, the asana is great, but for me, the experience of yoga is off of the mat. And it's so interesting to be able to play with it with a curious mind, especially the Yoga Sutras and the 8 limbs of yoga and the kleshas of how to be in relationship, how to play, how to experiment with it, how to be curious, how to become the seer, okay, versus the seen. When we become the seer, we become so much more curious about ourselves, and especially about the 5 kleshas that for some people may think it holds them in a state of, let's say, bondage. Okay, so we have, do you want to know what they are? Anyone want to know what the kleshas are? Okay, we got, I'm going to try and do this in order because they feed off one another. Boom, it's like a domino effect. So the first one is ignorance. That's the first klesha that in yogic philosophy causes us pain and suffering. Ignorance. And as soon as that comes up, I always go into the thought of the, what's it called? The ostrich? Or is it the camel? No, it's an ostrich with his head in the sand. If I can't see it, it's not real. So sometimes we have that situation within ourselves. We become ignorant, or we turn, we sort of look the other way. Okay? So ignorance. Then we have, and ignorance can lead definitely to the suffering voice as well. Okay? As in Warrior Goddess Training, we call the victim voice. Then from ignorance grows ego. Okay? And then ego is the state of I, me. Well, it always happens to me. Well, I'm not going to do this. Well, I don't have to do this, or I shouldn't, or I know better. That sort of I, me relationship, you know, that they talk about in Tantra. Okay, instead of the I, thou. Okay, So we have ignorance, we have what's the other one? Ego. And then from ego, we become attached. So attachment. We become attached to the ego. And attachment, I think, can be very, I don't really want to use the word dangerous, but attachment brings us, I don't know. Anyone want to comment? What is attachment? When you get attached to something, what happens when that attachment changes? Oh, I know. It brings us out of our self-grounding. Okay? So instead of grounding into ourselves and finding that solidity within ourselves, we attach ourselves to outward external influences, whether it's a person, place, or thing. And then when that attachment changes or leaves, then we become really unsteady. Okay? Isn't that cool? So cool. Because it happens. I mean, it can happen every day for some people. I know I've grown up and I used to get a lot more attached. Woo! And we can even be attached to the outcome. And I learned many years ago, when we attach ourselves to the outcome, and the outcome, excuse me, is not what we desire, there's conflict. Okay? And isn't that like a cool equation to learn from? So then we have attachment. And then from attachment, then that's 3 kleshas: ignorance, ego, attachment. Now comes repulsion. So we start to push away whatever gets in the way of our attachment, whatever gets in the way of the ego. And we push away the things that we are ignorant to. Okay? And that can be like on any level, any of the koshas at all. Okay? And any inner dialogue. And then from repulsion, we have fear. Okay? We become scared. We become fearful. And there's a lot more to it, but in essence, those are the 5 kleshas. Okay? And that's causing the pain and suffering in our lives. So, when this happens, are we seeking nourishment, as I mentioned earlier, or are we seeking nurturing? Are we wanting to be fed something? Are we wanting to receive something? Or are we looking for something to soothe us, to take away? Okay? All right, and why is this important? Like, what the heck? Like, what does this even mean? Excuse me. Well, what it means is that it gives us an opportunity, and it is a tool. It is a tool which we can use to soften the blow and the hardships of life. And I'm not saying it's easy. And especially for some of you ladies who, if you used to come to Warrior Goddess Circle, that it's very challenging. And that is why, you know, I really try to create, clear, hold, fill, share, and seal safe and sacred space in the studio. Because when we're safe, that's our first chakra, our first main chakra anyways, Muladhara. It's our safety. And when we think of safety into security, I always think of a safe deposit box, right? With the key in there, it's safe, it's locked, and it's becoming secure. It's security. So security is an extended form of feeling safe. Well, how do we feel safe? Do we feel safe by nourishment, or do we feel safe by nurturing, or do we feel safe by both? And I'm pretty confident that if we live in the state of the kleshas constantly at a high aroused level versus a dim level, then if there's a lot of energy that's being put into the kleshas, the pain and suffering increases. Okay? If that makes sense? Okay. And if not, go back in YouTube channel and chill out for 90 minutes and listen to me banter and probably lose my train of thought 5 times through that 90-minute workshop. But I think it's really cool. All right, so we have the cosmic egg. So this is weekend card pull. Bum, bum, bum. And this book is, these cards are from Kim Krantz, and they are our animal spirit guidebook. So it's pretty cool. I feel that there's another card after this, though. I feel like this isn't the only teaching for us today. Interesting. So I think the cosmic egg is the last. Yeah, the cosmic, this is interesting. The cosmic egg, as you can see, I believe there's most of the colors of the chakras there in the cosmic egg. And this has to do with the collective of the chakras, but more so with Sahasrara and the opening. Okay, so I'm going to keep talking because there's something I have to share. I have to teach here. So if we go back to the root, feeling safe and secure, okay, building us up. So when we feel safe and then we're secure, security again is the extended embodiment of feeling safe. Okay, doesn't only mean safe in our homes, it can, but safe within ourselves. Okay, so when that safety turns into security, gravity grounds us, right? Gravity is a big part. I don't really know about too many teachings that talk about gravity with the chakras. That's interesting. Okay, that's really cool. So gravity pulls us down, yeah? Okay, and it gives us that sense of grounding, feeling our feet on the earth for the most rudimental way to explain grounding, okay? Then solidity holds us up, okay? So I'm going to say that again. I was talking to a client about this the other day, just yesterday, because I am taking clients in studio for Thai yoga massage and root to crown. So total self-care, super cool. Okay, so we were in Muladhara chakra. We talked how gravity pulls us down, how we feel safe, how we extend that safety and security, and then from security, we build solidity. Okay, and I think of, I want to show you. Can I take you for a little tour for a second? Can I show you, to me, what solidity came up with? Okay, we're gonna go for a little walk, okay? Oh, this is like Mr. Rogers. I gotta grab my internet though. Okay, so we're gonna go out. Bum, bum, bum. Rain, you gonna come? Okay, do. Okay, where is it? Oh, yes. I'm going to show you this. Okay, I'm going to tip it. Ready? Boom, 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 boom. See this? Do you see this plant, this succulent? See, to me, this is solidity. So the root is there, and it's got that trunk. So because it's rooted, okay, gravity is holding the seed down, and it's been germinated, it grows. So it's obviously feeling safe in the surrounding, because if I would put that succulent in a space of, let's say, excess moisture or darkness, maybe it's not going to grow as much, okay? So it's not going to be having that safety that it needs for its nourishment, and then it's not going to feel secure. So now what we have here is we have something growing that is sort of, you saw how it was kind of falling over, but it was still solid. Do you see? We can be solid and still be sort of floppy. And then it's our choice of what we want to do with that kind of solidity and floppiness. Does that resonate with anyone? You know, because I feel sometimes when we're grounding, I just have to shut the door. When we're grounding, that we have this expectation, maybe from ourselves, that we have the expectation that we have to be super solid, that we have to be like mega balanced, you know, all the time. And like, come on, seriously, I don't know. I don't feel balanced all the time. Right? I practice yoga every day, always thinking and being in relationship with the guardians and the ancient ancestors and the higher energies, looking at myself with loving curiosity, exposing my faults, being in relationship with the kleshas, yada, 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 all of that stuff. Woo. The thing is with life, we're going to be thrown off balance. So why don't we learn about how to be in relationship with that imbalance in the first place, instead of running away and having repulsion with it? Now, again, it's not easy. You got to be in the right place for it. And I've learned over 30 years of working with mostly women, but some men, is you can't rush it. You never a breath before, because I remember years ago when I was stuck in suffering mode, huge, right? I had my story. It was like I had my book written out. I was attached to the story and it defined me. Okay, huge. And then I went on this really cool retreat with some Buddha yoga lovelies who are just, talk about powerful. Yeah. Buddha yoga, awesome. And she basically, you know, she brought that out. She brought it to light for me. And then what happened? Hey, good morning, Lisa. Morning. You got your coffee, lady? You got your coffee, Lisa? And then what happened? I was ready to do the work. Okay? And I'm not saying this for you to compare yourself to me, because, oh God, please don't ever compare yourself to anybody else. Okay. It's just, it's such an expenditure of energy that really does not serve us at all. Loving curiosity. Yeah. Self-judge in comparison with somebody else. Yeah. That's hard. That's a real battery drain for sure. So I've always been ready to do the work. Well, no, I haven't been. That's a lie. I just lied to you. I haven't been, because years ago I wasn't, but then I was. Okay. So there you go. A door opened. Then I was ready to look at, you know, the kleshas, everything that was in my way, everything that was in myself that was causing me some type of suffering. Okay. And I had teachers. I had very supportive women. I cried like a baby. You know, the snot pee scream cry? Anyone ever had that? Yeah, that really intense crying. Well, for me, I need to feel something in my body. I'm the type of person who is embodied, who needs that embodiment. I'm very somatic. That's why I do hands-on energy healing or energy body work. Okay, because I'm not a healer, not by any stretch of the imagination. So I was just ready to do that. I was ready to go and do the work. And have that relationship with that snot, pee, scream, cry, you know, for like 2 or 3 hours, you know, where you just feel drained for like 48 hours after. But I'll tell you, if I wasn't ready to do that, it doesn't matter what anybody would say. Anyone. So if you're not ready, then how can you honor that as well? And I think what it is being honest with ourselves and loving enough with ourselves to say, hey, I'm just not ready yet. Universe, I'm just not ready yet. I need a little bit more time. Okay. So this all comes back to what we're talking about, and we'll get to our card right away, is when we feel safe, we build that safety and security. When we build that security, we increase and we nourish our sense of grounding. When we're grounded, we can build into solidity. And building and solidity means holding ourselves up. Like the plant, the succulent I just showed you a few minutes ago. It's still wobbly, but it's solid and it's supple. So how can we invite suppleness, like the trees, into our solidity? Okay? I don't know how you're going to do it. When you figure it out, if you got any thoughts, feel free to let me know, because I would love to chat. I'd love to hear your comments. Okay? Huge. I could talk about this like all the time. Well, I do talk about it all the time. Okay, Cosmic Egg, ready? So I'm going to read you a little bit of a story if you want to stay. And if not, you can come back and I will post this video later. So before we begin, I invite you into a safe space. And maybe seated, maybe you're still in bed, lying down. Maybe you're standing, okay? Find a space of stillness. And just for a moment, I feel that we should do a little bit of a ceremony for this. So luckily, I have my rattle, because I think having a rattle is so important. because what rattling does is it changes the frequency. It breaks certain patterns, and you can feel the vibration. So we all know we're all a vibration, and sometimes we get stuck and we get attached to a lower vibration because that's just the way it is maybe in your day. And then when we use a tool, especially a sound, a drum or a rattle, it can bring us out of, it can interfere that lower frequency that we're in. Okay? All right. So close your eyes if you feel safe. Hand on the belly if you want. Hand on the heart. Excuse me. There we go. Throat chakra opening up. Belly breath in. Now breathe into the sound. Breathe into the vibration. Beautiful. And eyes still closed if you feel safe. Again, hand on heart, hand on belly. Before I read our teaching today of how we can be in relationship with what we seek for nourishment and how we can be in relationship with what we seek for nurturing. How we can find space to hold all of the kleshas when they show up. How we can become the seer versus being the seen. How to not disconnect, but how to end, how to bring a close into the ceremony of last week and to create a new refreshing space, an open space, a clear space into our next week where we can bring to peace this past week, the misgivings, how we can invite forgiveness. And we call upon not only the spirit animals of the four directions, we call upon a Mother Earth to Father Sky. We call upon the elements. We call upon the grandmothers and the grandfathers and the sacred elders. We call upon our guardians and our teachers, our guides. We call upon our soul self to be present here as we receive these teachings of insight, of love, to not only learn from them, but to nourish them. Belly breath in, belly breath out. Beautiful. Woo! Awesome. Good. Thanks for staying with me through this, right? I mean, what else are we going to do on a Sunday morning? Well, I mean, I guess there's lots of things we could be doing, but I kind of like, it's sort of, for me, it's the more spiritual time of the day is early morning. Okay. Cosmic Egg. You can close your eyes. I'm going to read you a story here, okay? Oh. Oh, I love you so much, universe. Thank you for being so abundant and so bright. Thanks for guiding the path. Man, I don't know what I'd do without you. Okay. Completion. Harmony. The infinite within the finite. Or the infinite within the finite. And we were just talking about the completion of the last week and how to bring in harmony. Okay. The Cosmic Egg is the final card in the journey of the Animal Spirit deck. And it represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. This state emerges after we have tread the path for quite some time. And through self-effort and grace, we experience self-realization. Ooh, self-effort. Knowing when you're ready and honoring that as much as when you know that you're not ready. That's harmony. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are lifted. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Wow. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to read that sentence again. Okay, so deep breath in, deep breath out. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are lifted. When the essence of the cosmic egg has not yet been activated, we may feel as if we never will get there. Or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Pick me, pick me. I'd be the first one in line. Used to be. So even if our encounter with this card is brief, maybe you never think of this again. Maybe you never watch another live video at She Achieves Studio, or whether you do, whatever direction you go. Even if our encounter with this card is brief, appearing as a momentary glimmer or flash of interconnectedness, its potent energy stays with us. So when you surround yourself, this is something, I'm going to be honest, this is something that I forget a lot. And I think that is nourishing the feeling, the klesha that I have lately of attachment. And I'm talking about being around like-minded individuals. I call them kindred souls. Do you know when you're with a certain group of people and you are on such a vibe that you normally aren't on, and it feels so interconnected, it feels so weaved, and you can stay up for hours and hours and not feel tired the next day. That's really special. I think that's an opportunity and an invitation. It's almost like a sneak peek. Because do you find that sometimes you surround yourself with people who are not like-minded? Because you feel like you have to? You pick up what I'm laying down? You pick up what I'm laying down? Yeah. Okay, so granted, there are times in our lives when we're going to be surrounded by people that are not on the same vibe. I get it. I mean, that's life. But how much energy do we put into those relationships? Because who is anyone else to tell us that that's wrong or right? And when I'm with She Achieves Studio, and even in my own personal life, I really try to get away from good or bad. I really try to stay away from the words good. It's all good, or, oh, that's good. Because when we talk about good, then there's going to be the bad. So there's the polarities, right? Yin and yang, Shiva Shakti, it's all there, okay? However, I'm trying to move away from that and learn the higher vibe from good and bad, okay? Anyways, that's just my story. So, you can't rush this. And being around like-minded individuals, if that feeds your soul, right? If being around like-minded individuals decreases the charge of the kleshas, and and it's coming from a sacred space, so jump on that train, maybe, if it serves you. And as always at She Achieves Studio, you step in or step out. Right? It's your choice. I'm not choosing for you. I don't want to choose for you. I'm just opening up the portal to give you, I'm planting some seeds, and then you get to germinate those seeds, okay? Yeah, because it's pretty cool to be around like-minded individuals. It's pretty cool not to have to explain yourself to people. And I find it really heavy, especially after I finally finally learned how to honor and embrace and create boundaries with holding such an empathic sense and energy. And once I was able to learn how to hone in on the empathetic energies and boundaries, a lot has changed. So you may find that the people that maybe you were hanging out with before and connected before you may not connect with them as much anymore. And that's just the way it is. That to me shows a sense of change. Okay? And it's pretty powerful. Like, I love this stuff. You know, ladies, if you're watching, right? And even if the men are watching, virtual, I'm starting to open up She Achieves Studio to co-ed virtual. And the Iron Yoga, the kettlebell yoga is co-ed. And the only way a man can come into the studio, can enter the studio, is if one of the lovelies, a returning lovely, invites him in. That's just the way it is. Those are the boundaries. Okay? But men can come in for a Thai yoga massage with a female friend, family, partner, whatever it is. Okay? And I don't know if this is going to happen, but I feel like I'd like to open up like just a Facebook group and do a live, like do Zoom lives, do a chat, like just maybe once a month of yoga teachings, and not charge for it, you know, not have anything to do with money, but just to be around kindred souls. You know, just like, I guess I'm already doing that, eh? But you know what I'm missing from this is the interaction. I want to see you and I want to hear you. So for me, Facebook Lives are just a way to expand and get out there, right? To connect with people, because maybe people are going to resonate and then they come. Chandra, woman, like this is like a warrior goddess morning circle, man. But it's not. Chandra, yes. Yeah, I would love it. And we could call it Kindred Souls. Kindred Souls with Chantel. And we can just be free. We don't have a big agenda. Maybe there's an intent, or maybe we do like a weekend card pull. We let the cards, we let the cards guide us into our topic. Wouldn't that be very cool? And we could do a Zoom. And like we can have music playing, you know, it's like super cash, right? It's super cash. And there's no judgment, right? I mean, if you wanted to, you know, do whatever, you do whatever, right? It's just a place to hang out. Because, you know, one thing I'm learning with doing all this online booking, and especially now that I'm mixing in studio, like clients, lovelies, and online booking, it's like there's so many rules. Right? It's so linear. It's like you have to push this button and you can't have caps lock, because if you have caps lock, the password isn't going to work and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, sometimes I don't want to be restricted. I just want to be free. So is anyone else interested in that? Like we could just call it like the Freedom Circle. I don't know, whatever. I like the Kindred Souls, but I don't know. I don't think that would work. But maybe we could call it just the freedom. I don't know, just freedom. Just to be who we are and to talk heavy spiritual stuff. You know, to talk about the stuff that you think of, that you feel in your heart, but you don't really get a chance to talk to other people about it. That's what I want. Like, I crave that so hard. It's like, it's almost insatiable, you know, because, yeah, would you? I would love that too. I think it would be really cool. Because as much as I love the Facebook Lives and you know, reading your comments, I'm just looking at myself, and you know, like I get tired of looking at myself. I do so many Facebook Lives. You should see how many videos I have on my phone of me, and it's just like, oh God, it's so much. Anyways, so let's look at that. Okay, let's look at that. I'll sit with it today. I'll sit with it today. Okay, so let's keep going. Thank you to letting me know as well. Okay, so, well, that whole thing came from this card, because it's talking about that if the cosmic egg hasn't been activated yet, we may feel like we will never get there, or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Okay, and then this card gives us a flash of interconnectedness. Well, isn't that what we're doing right now? And how can we expand? How can we nourish that? Okay. And when we nourish our interconnectedness, then guess what? We nurture the loneliness. I'm not saying solitude is, is a negative feeling, but sometimes excessive solitude depends on you. Okay. Let's focus on this. So its potent energy stays with us. The cosmic egg, okay, ready, is a remedy for the fragmentation of modern life. The cosmic egg, and this is what that looks like, Kundalini happening there. Shakti rising up into the consciousness of Shiva. And Shakti rises up because of the chakras, because of the nadis, right? And up the Sushumna. So that's something we can talk about in our circle, in our freedom circle. Okay, its potent energy stays with us. So to me, the fragmentation of modern life means the kleshas, right? Because the kleshas fragment us, they disconnect us. So it's through the power of this card that we are reminded of the cosmic contract, Akashic Records, written at the beginning. And I say that with love. We hold on to life, and life holds on to us. The journey is complete, but it doesn't end. Yeah, I love that. Ooh, okay, I think I can remember this. I gotta write this down. Completion doesn't mean an ending. So have any of you who are listening and who want to comment, have you ever thought that when you complete something, it's the end? Like, I've never thought about that before. That a completion is not the end. And really, if we think about it, there is no end. Right? There is no end. That's cool. Okay. So now I'm going to read you the cosmic egg and the 7th chakra. So Sahasrara. And the beautiful part about Sahasrara, when I teach Root to Crown, which is an 8-week or an 8-session series where we work each week through each chakra, and then you receive Thai yoga massage based on that chakra. It's super healing. Like, I'm serious. If you're kind of, in a messed up place, or just like, not a messed up, but like an unsteady place, or you're steady, but you feel that you're looking for a new grounding, right? A new ground to build your safety, security, solidity upon, then, connect with me for Root to Crown. Like, it's actually really cool. And if you've ever come into the studio, for Thai yoga massage or anything, even personal training, there's a special on just for returning lovelies, just for ladies who've been into the studio before for Root to Crown. Okay, so anyways, that's a side note. So the thing with Sahasrara, though, is what I was getting at is it's really challenging to embrace and to become free and in relationship and in harmony with the polarities if we don't feel safe. And when we talk about Sahasrara, it's the removal of, it's almost like pratyahara. It's almost like the removal of the senses. It's the removal of I, me, and I, it relationship. It is I, thou. Okay. And that's taught in tantric yoga. So, okay. So there's something else I have to tell you. So it can be a long journey from the root, okay, from the root to crown, right? From root chakra to Sahasrara. And I don't think you can you can't bypass the stages. You have to do the work, okay? So it's great to want to be enlightened. I want to do this. I want to feel this. But yet we live in an unsteady life. So it's very humbling. It brings you back to the root. Okay. But you can do it. I mean, there's ways to realistically embody and be grounded into all parts of your life. Even all of the, the heaviness, the super heavy emotions and experiences, you can learn, you can actually embody So to me, embodiment is taking learning one step further. And that's why I'm so hands-on with the body work, is because, for me, I need to feel it. I need to embody it. I need to feel how it works in my body. So when you actually embody it, there's ways, there's tools, there's space for you to learn how to. But again, as usual, if you're not ready, that's cool too. Okay. The subtle essence of the cosmic egg resides at the crown chakra at the top of the head, called Sahasrara. Hello, Sahasrara. Looking down on us like an eagle eye. One of the aims of yoga and meditation practice is to channel energy from the base of spine upward towards Sahasrara, root to crown. Okay? Each of the 6 lower chakras plays an important role along this journey. Absolutely. And once the final epicenter of consciousness is activated, it is said to radiate the light of 1,000,000 suns. Oh, abso-frickin-lutely. Ha! Oh, yeah. See that? So, whether or not you are connecting with what I'm talking about and teaching this morning, but how does that feel in your body when you look at the cosmic egg? What does that feel like? What does that feel like in your emotions, in your mind? Is there judgment? Is there curiosity? Is there resonance? Is there entrainment? Okay. So I think how that connects to our last week and how to sort of put our last week to rest and move into the new week. I think what it is it's offering you a sense of, oh, geez, they're just throwing themselves out today. Well, thank you. It's asking you to look at what you were grounding in. What have you been in the past week, maybe in your life, I don't know, depends if you want to go that far. What are you grounding into? What is bringing you a sense of security? Okay? And is it part of the greater plan? Is it something that serves you? Is it connecting with like-minded individuals? Or is it surrounding yourself with vibes that, yeah, I got to back off a little bit. Okay? Do you know that you can give yourself permission to, not hang out with people? I've got some really cool close friends, really, really cool close friends, and then I know a lot of people as well. But for my highest space, for my highest love, it's really hard for me to be around people who are not like-minded and to be have intimate, meaningful relationships with them. It's really hard. And I never really gave myself permission to do that. So guess what happened when I was growing up? Especially when I was in Vancouver. Punk rocker in Vancouver. Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was so much fun. But it didn't really serve my high self. However, I had to go through all that. Okay? And it was punk rock in Vancouver in, I don't know how many years ago. I was 20 and I'm 52, so 30 years ago. And yeah, that was before I went in the army. So yeah, I was hanging out with the punkers before I went in the army. Well, and then, going into the army, going into the reserves, well, I don't know if that was for my highest self, but it's what I had to do at the time, right? I had to learn from that. So anyways, getting back, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Getting back to what are you rooting into? And is it serving you right now? It doesn't mean you close the book on everybody. I mean, maybe it does, but I think that's pretty extreme to start off with. I think it's just taking a look at yourself, because we have to remember, and I see this, and I do it too all the time, is I root out of myself, and then I sort of put blame and, what's the word? I give other people responsibility of how I feel. No. And that's, I don't teach that at all. If that's where you are, cool. but that's not something I teach. I teach root into you, take responsibility for you. And this can be a hard blow for some ego, for some people's ego. But no one can make you feel anything without your consent. It's pretty profound, right? I know when I've said it in the past, a few people have been like, what? No. And it's like, well, it depends on your perception, right? Which is based on your experiences, which is based on your beliefs, et cetera, et cetera. But if you think about that from a loving point of view, no one can make you feel anything without your consent. Yes, if I stepped on your toe, you will feel pain. I feel pain, yes. But we're not talking really about that physical part, okay? It's that attachment that I'm talking about. So let's keep this in the right context, okay? You made me feel. Yeah, but you like, he made me feel this. Yeah, well, she said that and she hurt my feelings. Isn't that a way to bounce off what did they call it? Self-effort, right? Owning, it's your experience. Own your experience. I guess that's the moral of the story. Own it. If you want to connect with kindred souls, you're going to search them out. You're eventually going to get tired of being around people that don't serve you and that lower your vibe. And then you're going to get the taste and the sweetness of connecting to people who do nourish you and who do raise your vibe and keep your vibe high. And you're going to just eventually gravitate towards those people because what you seek is seeking you. Okay? So if you're seeking blame on other people, well, guess what's going to happen? It's going to follow you. And there's a word I learned in shamanic. I'm taking a whole bunch of shamanic training right now. And let me see, where's the word? Where's the book? It's two words that I just learned. The morphogenic field, okay? It connects all of us. So information can travel through cells and information can travel through healing and creativity. So, I mean, if you Google it, it's there. It's not like it's a secret or anything. But it's like we're all interconnected, okay? So if you constantly push away yourself, responsibility, I don't know, your due diligence to yourself, okay, owning it. If you keep pushing it away, well, that's what's going to follow you. Right, Rain? Rain, your ears all flip back. Rain. Rain's feeling a little tired today, aren't you? Okay, so do you pick up what I'm laying down? All right, let's finish this off. I have one more card. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, I've gone for an hour. Okay, then I got to go. This has been way longer, but that's okay. So the last card is Hawk. So I think what a Hawk is showing up for is it's gonna build off the teaching of finding the energy from root to crown, for being stable, being in relationship with the kleshas, so we can move through the chakras without getting stuck at not feeling safe. So we move from being stuck of our pleasure and our sexuality. Okay. So we move through the ego and we're able to match intention with action through Manipura, through metta and forgiveness. We learn how to love the adversary experiences in our lives through Anahata. And then through throat, we be impeccable with our word and we say what we mean. And we don't let the lower frequencies reside in us. We see them, but we don't let them penetrate us, okay? Through throat. And then through Vishuddha. And then through Ajna, we get closer to opening up into that intuition. And, I've always wanted to talk about how to ground and nourish your intuitive self, okay? So when all of those are aligned, then we get up to Sahasrara. So now what do we do with it? What are we supposed to do with it? Well, Hawk is going to be here to teach us how to embody it for the next week. Okay? And then we're done. Well, and then the session is completed, but is it really the end? No. So take that, write that down if you want, if that resonates with you, and look at and contemplate with loving curiosity as being the seer, not the seen, how when we complete something, when there's a sense of completion, if we think it's the end, or is it the beginning, or is it just a spiral ongoing? Okay. Because let's say you change your, let's say you change your focus and you do seek out people who are like-minded, like more so, and actually have like meaningful relationships with them, you know, people that you actually care about. Like you just might find like just so much energy shifts, and it's not the ending. Let's say you end some relationships to create room for new relationships. The ending of those relationships, like, is it really the end, or is it just the beginning of something new? So do you see how we're continually, even just talking about it, I feel lighter, like reminding myself that a completion, the sense of a completion of a phase or a cycle is not the end. Okay? It doesn't have to be the end, and maybe it can if that's where you're at, but it doesn't have to be. We can see beyond that. And that's what higher vibrations and higher frequencies are all about. Okay. I have moth. No, we need a hawk. Looking for the big hawk. What's the hawk going to teach us? Now, growing up in Saskatchewan, I used to see a lot of hawks. To me, they've always been an omen. And I'd like you to sink into yourself and find what a hawk kind of means to you. Okay? Ooh, there's a lot of like air elements here. Oh, there we go. Hawk. Oh. Okay, ready? Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Hawk. So Hawk is going to show us how to embody the cosmic egg. When we finally connect to the chakras, Kundalini rises. We feel that aliveness and that sense of endless prana within us. We want to share that light with others and ourselves. This is our teaching of how to continue that into the next week. Okay, hawk. Meaning, the hawk is watchful, okay? It's all-seeing, and it's a messenger of divinity. So basically what I see is the cosmic egg, we've reached up here, and the hawk is going to descend down, okay? And lead us into the path. So the sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. Yeah, kind of like an eagle. And it's interesting because eagle is right after this, okay? Okay. So it watches our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. So it's like working with the chakras. We work individually with them for them to work collectively. And like, aren't we supposed to be doing that with humans? You know, like, aren't we supposed to like feel into our individuality, but work together as a collective? Yeah, like I just imagine a world where, you know, back in the hunter and gatherers, like where there's none of this interference of ego. Like, ugh. Anyways, okay, that's a different story. And I see it with love. I just get kind of sad when I look at humanity. But I also have to think that humanity has come a long way and we're on this earth to learn. But that's some of the stuff we can talk about in the circles, right? Like, and not have it warrior goddess circles. No, it's just freedom of being who you are. Right? And being able to talk about that. Okay, so the hawk sees every little detail, but yet it sees the holistic space. It sees the bigger picture. Okay? So when this card appears, fate has its eyes on you. And the winds are shifting. Okay, so we're all here. For those of you who've been watching me for like the last hour and 5 minutes, thank you. Like, from my heart and soul, thank you for hanging in there. So you're here for a reason. And you're here to the end for a reason. Okay. Okay, it is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. Well, what does that mean? It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. So if we think about what wings represent, they are a tool. The wings are an extension of the hawk itself. And the wings guide the hawk to where it has to go. And the wings have something to do with what the hawk sees. Energy burp. Woo. Okay, thank you. So the message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect you to your course. So what is the message? The winds are shifting. The hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. Huh. I think I'm going to have to sit with that one because I got no idea what that means. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. I don't know what that means. That'll be interesting to sit with that and meditate with it. Okay, so I think what it's saying is when the hawk can hone in on like a mouse, but it sees, the whole, okay? The big spectrum. And then whatever that message is bringing, the hawk brings, it means there's a shift. So that shift may seem small, honing in. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Chandra. So whether the shift is small or significant, whether you only see one or the whole, there is a shift coming and you get to figure that out. Thank you. Can I read that, Chandra? Well, it's on. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to assume that. Okay. So Chandra says, yeah, I'm not going to assume. I'm going to read what you say because everyone can read it. All right, so Chandra Flett says, so grateful, Chantel, you were there just when I woke up. That's awesome. And grabbed my phone. I truly needed to resonate with your teaching today. Thank you. Thank you. And I came into this morning because I was like feeling really heavy. This morning I was feeling off-centered. And I almost canceled it. And then I got out of my way and intuition said, just, sweetie, you can just frickin' show up. I don't want to be anyone else that I'm not. I did that and it just sucks. It just sucks. It's draining. It's like a live wire going everywhere. I just want to be who I am. Right? And people are either going to take it or leave it. Whatever. I'm with me till the end. And is the end really the end? Or is it just a continuation? Okay, so thank you for that. I think sometimes just showing up exactly as you are and just letting it unfold organic can be so very, very powerful. Yes, we need to have due diligence and to do our homework, right? And because it gets us to where we want to go. But also, once you're done that work, just expand into the light, and know that that's probably one of the most brightest and safest places that you could ever be with, because the guardians around us, they want to help us. But we get so stuck on, like the hawk, on that mouse. We get so stuck on that mouse that sometimes we forget the greater picture. We forget to see. And that's why inviting a sense of being the seer versus the seen is very important, because when we get into the sense of being the seen, and this is Prakriti and Purusha from, I don't know, the eight doshas from Ayurveda. This is nothing I'm just making up. This is ancient teaching. Okay. Good morning, Lee. Thank you. Is that when we get stuck, on the mouse and we don't see the greater picture around us, sometimes we can get trapped. We can feel trapped. Okay? Yet, because we're above good or bad right now, right? There's no good, there's no bad. We're above that because we're in Sahaswara land. Okay? Sometimes we need, and I think this is a big part of healing, especially with whatever journey you're going in. I don't need to label it. I think we live on labels. I think we can like super get rid of those labels anytime, because that also opens us up into a greater freedom when we no longer label ourselves. Okay. So sometimes we need to hone in on the mouse to be able to see the greater picture. Okay. Sometimes we have to spend like days, months, years, maybe even lifetimes. Okay. Seriously, on honing in on that mouse. And that's all we do is hone in on that mouse. I just want the mouse. I just want the mouse, says the hawk. Okay. So sometimes we need to do this before we get here. And if you're just joining us, I will, tell you what, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post these pictures, but I'm not going to post the story. If you want to know what these mean, you can go back and watch this live. And it's already been an hour and 15 minutes. This was only supposed to be a half hour. But whatever. See, that's like what I'm just letting it unravel. And if one of these cards really does resonate with you and you want to speak, you want to unload and unpack, I would be more than willing. I would be more than happy to sit and chat with you. And if you do want to chat with me, like to talk one-on-one, you can do that free. It's called a karma call. And if you go on SheAchieveStudio.com and go under offerings, there's a little thingy, drop down thingy, subheading of karma call. And then we do a live virtual, 30-minute chat. Like you can do that even if you don't want to purchase any offerings. Like we can just chat. But as we mentioned earlier, I think I'm going to start some type of a free love. Oh my God. Could we call it free love? Free love to freedom. Ooh, I like that. I don't know. But I want to start a Zoom, and it's got to be invite only. Okay. It's free, but we just sit and we just chat and we talk about we all get involved. It's not like you're just going to listen. You get to speak. You get to honor. You get to feel vulnerable. You get to feel strong. And how cool is feeling vulnerable when you feel safe and when you feel, when you're vulnerable and you use it to empower yourself? Because vulnerability truly is a strength if you see it that way. Okay. All right. So the last teaching of the hawk, when in balance, the hawk sees clearly. So when in balance, this is cool, okay? When in balance, the hawk sees clearly. It hones in on the mouse, okay? But it also sees the, what did they call it? The bigger picture. And oh man, this is just this could go on forever. Excuse me, because how can we see ourselves being in balance? The same as when we see ourselves as being unbalanced. Or I should reverse that. How can we see ourselves? How can we honor ourselves when we're not balanced as equally as we see ourselves when we're imbalanced? Because again, now we're coming down off of the Sahaswara land, the fun land up there. We're coming down and we're going into this plane of yin and yang, right or wrong, good or bad, love and hate. I feel balanced. I don't feel balanced. I feel grounded. I don't feel grounded. I really like what I'm doing. I don't like what I'm doing. Okay. So the hawk helps us see clearly. And how to be able to see clearly is by seeing everything as a teaching. And this is something I'm going to expand on. I don't know when, but it just this thought invited itself, and I accepted it as life is a ritual. Life is the ceremony, people. Life is every breath. Every breath. Think of all the breaths that you take in a day that you don't pay attention to. Every breath is a ceremony. Every breath is a ritual. Life is a ritual. How can we treat it as such? Okay? With honing in on the mouse and seeing the bigger picture. Okay. When out of balance, you want to know what happens when the hawk is out of balance? It sees too much. And it becomes suspicious. So perhaps if we're seeing the greater picture, do we see the greater picture too, and not in balance with honing in on the mouse? So question is, this is it. See, we had to come right to the end to actually find the teaching. And really, is this the end? No, it's just the completion, and the journey is going to continue. This is the teaching that we've been waiting for an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you. Is how can we balance seeing the whole picture, yet focusing onto the mouse, so to speak? How can we see both equally? So I invite you, what are some self-explorations you can do today? Ask yourself, what have you been hyper-focusing? What has been the mouse? Be the hawk, number one. Okay, meditate with the hawk. Meditate with the hawk, be the hawk. Flap your wings, do whatever you got to do. Look at pictures of the hawk. And embrace and embody the hawk. And then with the eyes of being the seer, not the seen, because the seen sometimes holds judgment. So you're being loving and curious. You're going to embody the hawk and then ask the hawk. No, then you're not going to ask the hawk. You're going to look at your life with curiosity and see what has been the mouse in your life. Maybe for the past week. You don't have to go super deep either, right? Only if you want to. But once you embody the hawk, ask yourself what has been the mouse in the past week, and then what has been the bigger picture as well. And if those have been in balance. And if they haven't been in balance, okay, like they're not in balance, period. Why does there have to be more? Right? Does there have to be that excess? Oh, well, I want to try this, and I should be here, and I shouldn't be doing this. Nah. That's for later. Try and go beyond that. Try and see it with a more expanded heart. Okay? So you see it from love and curiosity. As a teaching. Life is a teaching. Life is yoga. You know? Like life is yoga. Life is a ritual. Life is the teaching. How can we be the observer versus always feeling like we're the observed? There's great freedom in that. Got to tell you. Okay. How do we bring... Are you ready for this? How do we bring it into balance? Perspective shift. Perspective shift. How can we shift the perspective if we're not willing to become the seer? I'm going to leave you with that question. How can we possibly ever want to change our perspective or shift our perspective if we are not willing to become the seer? Ruhi, good morning. I love it. So if you're feeling like this has opened up a goodie bag for you, and you're it's one thing to talk about this. This is one thing I've learned about facilitating circles and groups. I mean, I've been facilitating for over 30 years. Okay. I started when I was 20 in so many different genres, is when you open the box. Good morning, Ruhi. Good morning. Thank you for sharing. When you open the box, when you open this, now what? Okay. Now what? It's great to talk about it, but how do we embody it? And this, love back. Thank you. What are you supposed to do with it now? Well, you're the only one who can decide that. Okay. But if this has opened up some sort of, I don't know, curiosity that you're not really sure where it sits within you, or if you feel like this is cool, but now I feel like everything's just been discombobulated and I don't know what to do with it. If you feel fragmented, like open wires, like I always think of the Matrix, all those like open wires and stuff, then reach out to me, right? You're never alone. Okay. And this is my jam, man. This is my jam. I talk about this all the time. Okay. And I try and come from a loving and curious perspective versus from a directed, okay, perception. So you can book a karma call and it's free. Okay. Yeah, you can check out Root to Crown if you like. I think it's awesome. I took about 20 women through it in the last couple of years, and it's 8 sessions, and it's you get to really embody. It's an embodiment, because if we learn, okay, so where's my book? Where's the book I'm reading? Oh, okay, I'm really getting into a little bit more of the moon, okay? So I finally memorized the moon's phases. Finally. Okay, so I'm reading this book and I'm learning, okay? I'm learning. Yeah, I know all the goddesses and the moon phases and the astrology and all of that. But if I don't embody it, what happens with that information? Sure, it's taken, A to B, but then if you're a person who wants to embody, like really feel into the chakras, to really feel into your grounding, then that's like, honestly, that's Root to Crown. And that may be too much for you right now, and that's cool too. Then just book a karma call, if you want. It's totally up to you. All right, Ramona, thank you for joining. I think it's been almost an hour and a half. And for those of you lovelies who have stayed with me for the last almost 90 minutes, like, hats off to you. Absolutely. I guess it's one of those days. And we don't really know till we get there. Right? Like, I think there's so much magic and power into letting life, yes, be the ceremony, and every breath be the ritual, yet just to show up with a sense of mystery. When was the last time you just let it happen? When was the last time that you put your belief into the highest whatever around you? When was the last time that you just showed up without having it all planned out? Right? And there's so much power in mystery. There's so much power in being in relationship with that mystery without always having to have a definitive answer. Now, it takes courage, and that's why we are in relationship with the chakras. Because the first chakra is our safety, right? And I don't want to repeat everything I've talked about, but the root is our safety. It's our grounding. It's what holds us down. And then when we're safe, we feel pleasure. Because I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time feeling safe. No, I don't. That's not what I wanted to say at all. So scrap that. Boop. I have a really hard time feeling pleasure if I don't feel safe. Because in my life, I've had many, 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 many experiences of not feeling safe. Okay? So I can totally say 100% in more than one lifetime, I have not felt safe, and I have felt extremely safe. Okay. So if we have a hard time finding safe grounding, then it's really hard to feel safe. Okay. And then from when we do feel safe, or it's really hard to feel pleasure, I mean, okay? So once we feel pleasure, okay, once we allow to play with a mystery, once we allow ourselves to play with the sweetness of life, okay, then we can expand on that and we bring in a sense of energy. So we learn to embody it a little bit more. And then we're able to see, when we're able to be playful, then we can offer a sense of release of the ego. So this is something that I've just started doing with lovelies. We always used to have a little bit of a ceremony coming in, some type of grounding, but you know what? I've taken it one step further. And we actually we create an altar and we call upon, we call upon other helpful and compassionate energies, and we do some sort of ceremony. And I don't really want to give it away because it's kind of sacred. Well, it's not kind of sacred. It's like a whole lot sacred. So I guess that's, if you want to know more, you can contact me on the Karma Call, right? It's all there. So, we learn to embody it, because I feel like we can learn, we can listen, but until we truly take the courage, find the courage to embody our teachings, and maybe we fail at it and maybe we don't. I don't know. Maybe we're stumbly, maybe we're solid. I don't know what that journey is going to be for you. Okay. But when we embody it, we have the courage and we're becoming vulnerable to learn. And then when we're able to become vulnerable, we learn to forgive. And that's anahata, which is unstruck. Okay. And it's all types of love. Okay. It's all types of the heart. And for those of you who have worked with me, you may remember me talking about the heart crust. We have the heart crust, we have the heart center, and then we have the back heart. Okay. And that's actually one of my most favorite places to work with Thai yoga massage is the back heart. Love it. Love connecting the back heart to the heart center and the heart crust. It's awesome. Okay. Because we can sometimes feel connected from the back heart. That's why it's called the back heart. Because it's like way far away from the heart's crust. You know what I mean? So then we go into throat. So when we're able to open up from heart, because we've built upon all these other energies and we've established some type of compassionate and spiritual connection with them, then we go into throat and we go into the communication. Okay. So some of you may think, well, communication is speaking. I am communicating with you now. Yeah, but I'm communicating with myself. That inner dialogue. If I started this video with a specific intent, all I knew is what cards were going to be. I didn't know it was going to go an hour and a half. I thought it was only going to be a half hour. And I was going to meditate for half of it. That didn't even happen. Okay, so that inner dialogue also has to do with throat. So when we talk about throat chakra, what is that inner dialogue? Are we, telling ourselves we didn't do what we were supposed to do? Are we mad at ourselves? Do we see ourselves from love? Do we like, guess I hope I get another chance to, try it again. Okay, instead of cutting ourselves off. And Vishuddha is also, it's called the filter. Like it's the filter. It filters. So throat is here, yeah? Then we have Ajna and Sahasrara here, zhoop. We have the throat here, zhoop. And then we have the heart here, zhoop. So this is in between. We have third eye and Sahasrara, but what else is up here? The brain, the left side, right side brain, right? The all of the parts of the brain. Okay. And this, guess what? This connects heart. Oh, yeah, my heart's up here. Actually, I think I'd like to send my heart up here today for a little bit. Heart is here, and then brain is here. So throat is in the center. So this, believe it or not, connects heart and mind. So this filters all of these thoughts, do, 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 shing, 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 shoo, down into the heart. And this also, sorry, I have a little itchy there. This also filters from the heart, shoo, 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 to mind. Okay. So, what happens when you don't change a filter? What happens when you don't change the filter in the dryer? Yeah, right? Do you get what I'm laying down? Do you get it? If we don't change the filter, if we don't take care and tend to this filter, doesn't have a clear connection. So maybe it's all up here, or maybe it's all down here. And if I remember what the card said, it means see the mouse, but see the bigger picture. Okay? And that's how the chakras affect our lives and ourselves. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I got to get ready for a workshop I'm doing. It's a private workshop. So, got to get ready for that. This was so much fun. Okay, so whoever watches to the end, yeah, you can split halfway, all good. All good. Oh, see, I said the word good. It is that's honoring yourself. Honoring yourself. Beautiful. If you stayed to the end, or if you're watching this later, send me a message either on Messenger, or you can book a karma call. Like, you can book a free karma call. We'll sit and chat for a half hour. But let me know if you're interested in like a freedom circle. And who knows? You know, I think it would only be virtual right now because I do own a business. And I would love to do lots of free live in person things, but to do a lot of them is not really sustainable for the business. So that would be fee-based, which is cool too. However, let's start with a virtual free chat. I don't know, maybe once a month. You know, I don't think it has to be any more than that. Maybe twice a month. I don't know. Maybe on Half Moon. I don't know. But if you're interested in becoming a part of a collective, a synergy, where we talk about this and we don't really have to explain ourselves. If you want to be part of a space where you can just show up and not have to explain yourself, where you can actually step out of that energy where you are and go to a higher energy. Higher energy, I like that. Or freedom energy. I'm not sure, I'll sit with it. Then let me know. And then maybe we just start a little bit of a Zoom call and we just sit and chat. And it's where everybody's mics are on. You don't have to mute your mic. Oh, I'd like to have a club. Oh, I love the name. Who said that? I can't see it. Shauna. Beautiful. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chantel. Your words resonated with me this morning. I would love to have a club. I'd love to have a club too. Can we make a club? Let's make a club. I like it. I like it. Okay? And it's ours. And it's not like directive, and it's just, we just talk about this. But the only difference would be I'd be talking and then you could talk back. And you know what? We might even talk at the same time. And that's okay, because all of our mics would be unmuted. Imagine going to a Zoom call where your mics are unmuted. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All right, stay posted. Connect with me. Okay, and if there's other people, like men or women, if there's other people that you know that like you resonate, but that just would like to take that a step further on a virtual platform, let me know. Okay, all right. So let's do a closing little ceremony here. Breathe into belly. I feel like I'm going to sing. So I'm going to sing a song. I think I got all of the words. And then I'll sing it 4 times. Okay? So I'll sing it 1 time first so you hear it. And then you can sing it with me if you want after. Okay? Because remember, this connects here and here. So let it out. We are a circle within a circle with no beginning and never ending. We are a circle within a circle with no beginning and never ending. We are a circle within a circle with no beginning and never ending. We are a circle within a circle with no beginning and never ending. Ooh. I want to thank all of you for sharing your time, your space, and your trust with my time, with my space and my trust. I want to thank Licafer for having the longest nap ever, and thank the elements and the directions, and the grandmothers and the grandfathers, and the elders, and Mother Earth and Father Sky, and all that lies below, between, and above. I think we are good to close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you, I love you so much. So much unraveled today. Enjoy. Check out SheAchieveStudio.com. Please. Yeah, I'm asking you. Go check it out. Have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, glass of water. There's videos. There's meditations. There's a big slideshow. During the slideshow, there's a little slideshow of how to access calm. Okay? There's lots of good stuff. Lots of love. Lots of love. So lots of love to you. Thank you, everyone. It's been like an amazing Sunday morning. Thank you for sharing this amazing Sunday morning together. I say namaste. Peace out. Hello, Sherry. Oh, I just finished, Sherry. But you can watch it. I've been here for 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I gotta go. I love you all. Peace out. And yeah, if you missed some of the video, watch it, because we picked some cards and we had a couple of really good teachings. We probably had about 5 teachings today. So enjoy it. I love you all. Peace out.